I am the president of the Breaking Ads ad group, and today we're going to talk to you about Comcast Xfinity versus Verizon Fios. We're going to talk about who's going to come out in the next on top in the next 5 years, and we have Ellie here to start you off with Xfinity.
Okay, hi, I'm here to talk to you more about Comcast and Xfinity. I know you guys all know what Comcast is. It's one of the largest cable providers in the world. Just a brief background on it. It was founded in 1963 by Ralph J. Roberts, along with Daniel Aarons and Julian Brunsby in Mississippi. It started off as a very tiny cable company. They only did cable. And actually their name was American Cable Company, and then a couple years later they changed it to Comcast. And then they continued to expand and grow throughout the years, and by 1986, only 25 years later, they had 1.2 million customers, so I think that's really impressive. What helped them with that was they purchased 26% of Group W Cable, another cable company, so they got some of their revenues and customers and everything, but it helped them grow. And then only 2 years later, in 1988, they were named the 5th largest cable company in the world, which is very impressive. And that was the same year when they adopted telecommunications. They bought the American Cellular Network Corporation, so they added phone services, so they weren't only cable, but you could use Comcast for your landline and your phone and everything, so that added another variety to their company. And then in 1994, they acquired McLean Hunters Cable, another cable company, and just from buying them, they acquired their customers. So just like that, they added another 500,000 customers to Comcast. So they just kept growing a lot. And that same year, they were named the 3rd largest cable company in the world. So they kept growing over the years. And then in 2003, they launched On Demand. How many of you have used On Demand at your house? Or it's really, I have it at my house at home. It's really popular. I feel like it was the first, before Netflix and Hulu and everything, it was On Demand. You could watch movies whenever you want. You could pay for movies or watch free movies or TV shows, music videos, a lot of things. And that really helped them gain more popularity because I feel like it was newer back then to have stuff, I don't have to wait to watch it on cable. I can watch it whenever I want, but they had to do it at your house. It wasn't, available on your laptop yet. That came out in 2009 with Xfinity, so that was more like a Netflix or whatever. It's like a video on demand. You can stream videos through Comcast on your laptop or your computer, and they really promoted the anytime, anywhere type of thing, which is convenience, and customers love convenience and it's easy for them, so that really helped them get even more popular. And then in 2010 they became, not renamed themselves, but I feel like they reinvented themselves to Xfinity. It's kind of more modern, and it's they're coming out with all these new inventions and new features, so they are now more like Comcast Xfinity rather than just Comcast. It's the future, Infinity and everything. So that is more how they came to be. And then if you come up, that's more about Ralph Roberts. He's cool, but not that relevant. Yeah. Okay, and then more recently, only a couple weeks ago, in October 3rd, they announced that they will add more content to their Xfinity Stream Picks. They added more CBS and primetime shows and more up-to-date seasons on what they already had. So that's just another example of how they continue to adapt, because they know they have to keep adding new things to keep current customers loyal and bringing new customers. So I think they do a good job with expanding and thinking of new ideas. And then, if you go down, in June of this year, 2013, they added over 3,800 hotspots around the Washington, D.C. area, which is Wi-Fi areas. They added Wi-Fi in parks, restaurants, and malls to make it easier for people to access the internet, where there wasn't internet before. And in Washington, D.C. is a really obviously populated place and a good place to add all of that. And it really helped them, I think, again, with convenience, oh no, don't worry, you can get it anywhere you want. It really helped them make a name for themselves and continue to grow. So that's kind of what they're up to today. And if you go up, we have a video of the on-demand.
We have there are two recent videos that they posted to advertise their products. There was one on here, if you ever were to look at our blog, there's one that basically focuses on the portability of Xfinity. Then the other one, it's more recent, it's from April. It compares itself to satellite. I didn't realize that satellite was still a prominent thing, and obviously them putting it into their ad, they're like sensing competition from it. And then, I don't know if anybody remembers, but they were called Don't Fall, they coined like the phrase Don't Fall for Fios a few years ago, and it was like where they were like funny commercials where the Fios guy would come to your house and he'd be like, well, I don't want Fios, and then he would like just insist on it. So we also included that just for like a reminder, because that's kind of when Comcast realized Fios was like coming out on the scene, and they kind of like addressed them as a major competition. No.
Okay, can you put me
Yeah.
right?
Now Verizon, Ian will talk about.
Hi guys, I'm Ian. As you know, I'm going to talk about Verizon. As you know, Verizon is a company that provides telephone service. But I'm not going to talk about Verizon because it doesn't matter. What really matters for us now is Verizon Fios, that is the service. Well, Verizon was formed in 2000, and in 2005, Verizon wanted to create a service to compete with the television providers that were there. So they created Verizon Fios. So what is Verizon Fios exactly, you ask me? I'm gonna tell you. Verizon Fios, well, it's not cable. It's so much better than cable because it's fiber optic. Verizon Fios, I'm gonna explain. Verizon Fios, I'm sorry. Verizon Fios, it's a bundled TV, internet, it's a bundled internet access, television, and telephone service that it operates over fiber optic communication network. Yeah, and it's offered in some areas of the United States by Verizon, of course, and by Frontiers Communications. But there are some areas in the United States that don't have Verizon service because some franchise agreement it says. Verizon offers over than 500 total channels with more than 380 digital channels and with more than 105 high-definition channels, which is really cool. And it depends on the plan you choose. Depending on the plan you choose, you can get more or less digital and high-definition channels, plus 46 free commercial-free digital music channels. It also offers an app for smartphones, tablets, Kindles, which is very cool, and it broadens the consumer's market because you don't need to be in front of the computer to use to watch movies, to watch TV shows. You can be wherever you are and take your smartphone or your tablet and use their service. Oh, and through the years, Verizon has partnered up with DirecTV and Coinstar to expand their video streaming services. And we have some videos. We have 2 videos actually. I don't know if we have time to show. Okay.
They're just about like the features and stuff,
Yeah,
like how
show.
they pack in everything that they provide. So their ads have gotten better because we actually found one that they critiqued on this thing. I think it's called the Turk. Yeah, it's like the Young Turks. It was back in February, but what they did was they had 3 people go on to Twitter, offer themselves up to Twitter on the commercial to answer questions about Fios, but it turned into like just silly things. Like they would ask like inappropriate questions, and it didn't go exactly as planned. And they like questioned, like they were like, well, you're just saying things because you're being paid and stuff like that. So they kind of backfired on that. But recently, their advertisements and their commercials are very informative, so.
Oh, just a thing. Verizon is rated #1 in consumers' satisfaction, and since the service began, it is the largest competitor to Xfinity.
Okay, so a lot of people have a lot to say about Xfinity and Fios being the two most popular. One thing about Xfinity though is that they have never had a single internet or pay TV outage in 6 years of service, so their service is pretty good. However, they are pretty expensive. They're one of the most expensive services. Whereas Verizon, they don't have contracts, so that really attracted a lot of people. Like, you never have to make a contract, so you don't have to stick with it. But a downside is that you can't, someone has stated that I can't choose my own group router and no Wi-Fi hotspots in the areas. And so Verizon's not as widespread as Comcast. So where is Verizon going? How are they progressively getting more audiences and broadening their services? Well, as July 2013, they made an agreement with Disney and ESPN Media Networks groups that resulted in shows from Disney Channel, Disney XD, Disney Junior, and possible ABC Family shows are available to stream for Fios customers. There's also Fusion, which is a multi-platform network for Hispanics. So all of this just adds to Verizon's TV Everywhere lineup, so it just gives a wide variety of shows for lots of people. Also, just a few weeks ago on October 7th, the Verizon and Turner Broadcasting system announced that the content from all over Turner's broadcasting will now be available for Verizon's Fios TV customers, but not only on their television, but also computers, handheld devices, phones, other electronics. The subscribers are offered on-demand programming and live streaming from all major Turner networks from CNN, TNT, TBS, Cartoon Network, plenty others. Moving on to Comcast, in February of 2013, Comcast and Fox Networks started new programs that deals with access to content from TV and cable channels owned by Fox to be available for Xfinity. But these are not only on the TV as well, they're also on computers, smartphones, handheld devices, electronics, all that stuff. And it gives full access to current top Fox TV shows for all of Xfinity viewers. They're also expanding Xfinity by their audience with a new package, like Xfinity Triple Play Multi-Latino. This multi-Latino video programming is also combined with their internet service and their phone service. The phone service gives 300 international minutes to go to Mexico and all over Latin America, which gives a lot more wide range of audience as well. They also have access to live sports with other ESPN programming, which is through Watch ESPN, the app, or WatchESPN.com if you have Xfinity, or through the Xfinity website, you can't do that. Backtracking in Comcast, in 2011, they were the first paid TV provider to give current television series from ABC, Fox, NBC, and CBS on their video-on-demand service that would show the shows from those channels like the day after they premiere. And this also doubled the TV series for Xfinity, which brought them a lot of views, 19 billion views, and 350 million per month, 22.8 million video subscribers, and of those 19.7 million digital subscribers. So, Verizon Fios in Philadelphia. This probably relates to all of us because right now it's only Verizon only contains 1/3 of city households in Philadelphia, but they're trying to expand that to make citywide coverage by 2016 to move on to lower income households in the city to make sure everyone gets a chance to have Verizon, which is good. I mean, I like Verizon. I want to have that anytime. And Verizon's one of the most popular, and a lot of the viewers around Temple specifically would choose Verizon over Comcast. So.
Okay, so I did a little something and went around and recorded and interviewed people from the greater Philadelphia area to see like what they said and what their opinions were. Most of them, like I asked them why they chose the system that they chose, and most of them in this area chose like due to location. So. And not preference. So this first lady that I talked to, she I'll let you, she's kind of hard to hear and understand, but I'll explain.
Was Verizon the one that won? That's in like Culver, but it's okay.
Alright, she said that Verizon is the one that they want, but it's not covered in the area that she lives. So that was the first location thing, and the first thing I got the whole time. Then, oh, and some people did not want to be featured, so I just kind of quoted them, but.
It was the only product offered
Oh, really?
in my building, however, when Fios does arrive in my building, I probably will switch to Fios.
So where do you live?
That's in Washington DC.
Okay, that guy was from Washington DC and had Xfinity, but he said it was the only one offered. And he said specifically that he wanted Fios when it was in the area, so there's another person that doesn't want to have Comcast Xfinity. And then a little further along, this girl was from New Jersey, and this is what she had to say.
Where do you live exactly? Jersey? And is Fios more prominent there, like easier to get?
Yeah.
And what do you like about it, like other than the fact that you've never really heard anything good about Comcast?
I like the high speed here.
Okay, so a lot of the younger people like the high speed of Fios and the quality. So that's what she said. And then the last one I talked to was very informative and very into the discussion. She was kind of heated about the whole thing. I'll let you listen to what she has to say.
I use this one.
It's hard to hear.
Yeah, I use them.
And why?
Oh, because Fios isn't in the city. You know, it's like on the outskirts towards the county. So, and I live on North City Street, and Fios isn't available.
So basically, to people in this area, location is a big deal. She also started talking about like how she feels about Xfinity, and the cost, which I think we mentioned earlier. It's much higher, and you're contracted in.
They used to get allergies.
Oh, really? Right. So how long have you had Xfinity then? Instead of or
It's been a year.
Oh, just a year? And do you like it so far?
I like it except for the fact that the cost just went up. It'll be an additional $20 a month. Right. But if you want cable, then
Oh, yeah.
really don't have a choice. It's either Comcast or Verizon. Fios is available.
So basically, what I got from this, and I walked around for a while, there's also other quotes hidden in there. I just showed you guys a video, but most people in this area want to have Fios. Xfinity is just kind of losing its hype in this area, and even in Washington, the guy wanted it in Washington too. So it wasn't just the Philadelphia area. And then also, most of the comments and most of the complaints that Fios gets are their customer service. That's their worst aspect. So if what they're providing is good, then like that's another reason why they're like on top. And Comcast is more for the price. So again, Fios is seemingly popular as of now.
Okay, so as we've made pretty clear so far, Verizon is definitely on top. Even with this chart, it's number 1, Comcast is at 14. I think, for one thing, the biggest perk we saw in Comcast over Verizon was the Wi-Fi, but people are more concerned with Xfinity when it comes to cable, not with their Wi-Fi. I don't think when my mom or my dad went to go buy Comcast, they were worried about, you know, what out-of-home Wi-Fi we could get. The only downfall to Verizon right now is location. They're not expandable. I think to all of us, we might think that Comcast is on top because that's the big, you know, cable provider in the area, but it's also because it's the most accessible, where Verizon isn't. In other areas, Verizon's completely on top. Verizon's the best. But all in all, the only thing that keeps Comcast on top is just the fact that it's much more easier to purchase. So in the past 5 years, you know, as Ian was saying, there's contracts with other companies. When the Comcast building was built, Philadelphia had a contract that said people within the city cannot, for so many years, buy Fios because they made the contract with Comcast. But throughout the years, like I live in the greater Northeast, people around my area have been able to get it. Of course, I live on the close to the outskirts of the city, so a lot of people around where I'm at have been able to get Fios. They actually really, really like it, especially since they already have telephone, cell phone, internet, so it was just all in the package. So I think that within the past 5 years, as it's been expanding around the outskirts of the city and on the edge of the city, I think in the next 5 years it's going to be expanding more towards within the city and other places throughout the country. Because people really just want its cheaper prices. It's better service to your home, just like viewing stuff like your internet and your cable. It's not going to go out as quickly as it does with Comcast, and people want better quality all around. So yes, that's it.
Thank you.